Caddis Maximus here, this time with a quick review of the Harbor Freight Ultra Duster. This is actually a relatively premium brand of air in a can, or a can air duster. Surprisingly enough, this has also been kind of a long time staple of Harbor Freight, and I've always been surprised that they're selling actually a relatively competitive can of air. A lot of the stuff, you get at office supply stores, and they're always seem to be really small cans that are really overpriced. I mean, I remember some office stores where they were charging like $8 for a 10-ounce can like this, and these are still $5 at Harbor Freight, which still is a bit expensive, because it's just, I think, compressed carbon dioxide with a bitterant. Because a lot of tall cans of spray paint are about that price too, and you'd think spray paint would be more expensive than compressed gas in a can, but they kind of get a premium for it. Of course, compressed air out of an air compressor is a very good way to get nice air for cleaning out stuff and etc. Although with air compressors, if you don't have a dryer, there can be some moisture, so that can be an issue with electronics. These definitely come out pretty dry. The one issue, of course, with these is if you have them when they're new and you tilt them too much, you'll actually get the compressed liquid. A real common thing is if you want to try to freeze stuff, doesn't get it particularly cold, but you'll want to be careful around your fingers, is if you turn it upside down, then it'll shoot the liquid right out. And people have, like on computers and all sorts of stuff, have used that specifically for its cooling purposes. It won't, freeze a rose and make it shatter like it was in liquid nitrogen, but it does get mighty cold. In computers, people spray these on heat sinks just to achieve overclocking records, and I always thought that was amusing. But I just wanted to mention the Harbor Freight still has these, and this is actually where I get my can of air, and many times this is just a lot more convenient when you just need a little quick puff. Of course, the one issue is as the air is expanding, the can cools off. It's using heat energy to build up pressure and give you that airstream. So as the can cools, the pressure drops off, and then you have to periodically let it warm up. And if you use it a ton, of course, the can will even develop frost on it. And on a final note, if you are in a situation where you do use it upside down and you actually get some of the liquid, I believe that the bitterant that is in it will leave a slight stain or discoloration, and it's something that you would want to be aware of. I waited a few seconds, and this area is still pretty warm, but it still left some type of residue, even though it definitely works for getting it cool. At least you can still use coupons on this item, so I just wanted to mention that for some reason there's still a few items that Harbor Freight still sells that are, actual premium products that they just order, and I'm not sure I'm glad that they do it, although, it's kind of odd purchasing decisions, and ones are like this. And actually, a lot of the chemicals in their chemical aisle are actually like Liquid Wrench and WD-40, actual premium brands, which I've always been a little surprised about with all the stuff that Harbor Freight has, and then all these new products. You go into that chemicals aisle, and it's actually a bunch of name brand stuff. And this is one of them. So at least Harbor Freight does have one section of one aisle, which is still a throwback to the way they've been for a real long time. And generally speaking, I've always had good luck with these Ultra Duster brand can in an air, or air in a can, I should say. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Caddis Maximus out.